Hi everyone. Welcome to Turkish series stars. All the details are coming up in our video. Before we dive in, remember to subscribe and share so you don't miss what unfolds next. Thank you for being here. The loudest whisper bouncing around the tabloids right now centers on a simmering strain said to exist between Elsen Sengu, her former partner Barış Ardak, and Kagate Ulusoy, whose name has lately been linked to Elsen far more often than either camp is comfortable with. Insiders claim Elsen has been uneasy about how any chance encounter between Barış and Kagate might go, because Barış, who has kept his private life zipped tight since the breakup, supposedly tends to hint at details from their shared past when he's caught off guard, especially around people he doesn't want to misread him. He's reportedly told close friends he doesn't want to be misunderstood, that he hates the idea of headlines twisting his words, yet the sting of what's behind them apparently hasn't faded. And that, according to the gossip mill, is why mutual friends are bracing for a possible social minefield, a party here, a premiere there, one unexpected hello turning into a very public cold front. Rumors floating from Elsen's circle suggest she's worried any stray comment from Barış could place both her and Kagate in a tricky light just as the chatter about her love life has flared up again. She's believed to be adamant about not fanning the flames, stressing to confidants that she does not want to reopen old chapters or reframe timelines. It's not fear so much as exhaustion. After months of keeping her focus on work, she now finds her name back on the trending list for reasons that aren't about scripts or sets. Meanwhile, those near Kagate say he's fully aware of the noise, yet determined to stay out of the swirl. His line to pals has been simple and steady: "I'm looking after my own lane, what isn't mine won't become mine." And because both sides have kept public silence, curiosity online has exploded. Fans say the quiet only thickens the air, the absence of statements turning every gesture into a potential clue and every glance into a headline. The next few days, many insist, will show if this triangle of tension is destined to flare or to fade. The industry, already tense from back-to-back premieres and award chatter, has found itself fixated on this slow-burn story. Despite a long, complicated split that stretched out over months of avoidance and polite distance, Elsen still refuses to have her private history with Barış discussed in the same breath as the murmurs about her rapport with Kagate. According to sources who claim to know the mood behind closed doors, she's been on edge these last weeks. She is said to worry Barış might seek out Kagate, if only to settle nerves, and in doing so drop clarifications that land like confessions. The thought nags her because, as she's told people she trusts, she already tucked away those romantic knots and loose ends, left them in a drawer she never planned to open again. Yet the renewed swirl of romance talk has pulled that drawer ajar, not by her hands, and there's always the chance that one offhand remark morphs into a narrative she can't control. The part that alarms her most, say the whispers, is the risk of an unpredictable media recoil. Timelines questioned, motives scrutinized, photos dissected, and the kind of endless commentary that makes even ordinary dinners feel like staged clues. She isn't running from the past, but neither does she want to audition it for an audience. So she remains careful, choosing her words with restraint, declining invitations that might put her shoulder to shoulder with either man. Through all this, Barış reportedly tells his inner circle that he has no intention of making trouble for anyone. Still, not all bruises heal clean. Friends note he's become more guarded about where he shows up, especially at gatherings where paths might cross without warning. That, say those in the know, is exactly why Elsen's anxiety won't loosen. A harmless greeting could be misheard, a friendly nod could be misread, and suddenly private history becomes public spectacle. As for Kagate, he is said to have gently eased himself away from the discourse. He's told friends he won't let noise cut into his routine, that he won't be a character in a story that isn't his to tell. He works, he trains, he reads scripts. Yet the allegations, the narratives, the clever edits on social feeds, they've roared louder every day. For fans, the possibility of tension among the trio is as mesmerizing as it is unexpected. The calm feels loaded, the quiet a pressure cooker. Many believe it would take only a single statement. or a tense exchange caught by someone's phone, to flip the entire story on its head. And so everyone keeps watch for the smallest sign, a caption, a like, a clipped interview answer. In the meantime, the silence does the talking, and the rumor mill spins. The tabloid engine hasn't slowed once. While Elsen has tried to seal off talk of her private world, unease lingers about what her ex could choose to reveal. Those around her say this concern pinpoints one issue: her name's constant pairing with Kagate, which refuses to die down. Whispers claim she fears that if Barış and Kagate end up in the same room, by design or by accident, past scenes might be described in a way that reshapes present-day assumptions. For his part, Barış has, by all accounts, held his tongue publicly since the breakup. In private, he can air his frustrations like any human would, yet he's also said he won't push anyone into a corner. Even so, the possibility that he might speak, even carefully, is enough to unsettle both sides. It's the kind of possibility that causes careful people to double-check their schedules and weigh their RSVPs. There's talk that Elsen has confided she fears revisiting the past could muddy her current standing, not just romantically, but socially and professionally. She has worked too hard to keep her craft at center stage to let half-remembered anecdotes become the performance. On the other side, observers note, nothing has truly changed for Kagate. He's maintaining distance, declining to engage, and keeping his attention trained on projects that demand long days and early mornings. Still, the attention building online is its own gravity, pulling in casual bystanders, encouraging every account to offer a theory. What feeds it is the hush, what fuels it is the sense that the hush could break. Further reports claim the media has switched from idle watch to quiet alarm. Editors count the angles, the ex and the co-star, the reunion that never happened, the smile that might have meant nothing but could ignite everything. Word is that Elsen thinks if she's seen with Kagate, Barış might interpret it as an invitation to set the record straight, which could mean simple context or something sharper. Knowing how fast a phrase can be cropped, she's doubly careful now. For all his part, Barış, who's largely lived below the radar since the split, is said to vent with friends but stop short of sharing anything that would place someone else in a harsh light. It's a tricky balance, saying enough to be heard by the people who matter while letting the public think you said nothing at all. The risk, of course, is that any private comment can become public the moment it leaves a mouth. That's the anxiety shadowing Elsen, especially with her name back in romance chatter. She's become surgical about boundaries, no late-night kitchens for conversation, no dim booths that look like hidden dates, no arrival through side doors that suggest secrecy when there is none. Meanwhile, sources close to Kagate insist he will not be pulled into commentary, that he said clearly to keep him out of this or count him out entirely. His world is work. His posture is forward. But posture won't stop speculation, and the whisper network comes on. And so we reach the present, which feels like a pause and a cliffhanger at the same time. People who love the pairings born on screen want happy endings off screen, too, and people who love intrigue want a reveal. The truth is messier. The ties between Elsen and Barış were real and complicated. The friendship with Kagate is real and complicated, too. Add time, distance, pride, and public scrutiny, and you get a delicate equation. For now, no one has broken rank. No official word, no confirm, no deny, just careful schedules and quieter rooms. Perhaps that's kindness. Perhaps it's strategy. Perhaps it's both. Still, people who study this beat warn that one comment could tilt the table. A wayward answer in a hallway interview could be clipped into a headline. A polite hello seen through a camera lens could be cut into a narrative. A sigh could sound like regret. A laugh could sound like triumph. And because the audience has learned to read tea leaves where there are none, even the most ordinary moment might be reimagined as plot. That is the weather system swirling around these three, and that is why every move feels like it belongs on a chessboard. For the fans, this quiet standoff has become a nightly watch. They check who followed whom, who unfollowed, who liked a photo from 3 weeks ago and whether a caption might secretly be a lyric. They compare timestamps, trace locations, and turn coincidences into patterns. The fervor is understandable. These are stars whose work has lived in people's hearts for years. But living in hearts means living under microscopes, too. And here, at least for now, the microscope finds only discretion. Where does it go from here? Some say nothing happens. That the tension will dissipate the way fog lifts, leaving only a memory of the damp. Others predict an inevitable crossing at a festival or a private dinner that won't stay private, and that when it happens, old feelings will meet new resolve. The safer bet is that everyone keeps doing what they're doing. Elsen guarding the line between past and present, Barış choosing his words the way one chooses a lock code, and Kagate walking right past the noise as if it's just another street he doesn't need to turn down. But even if this is how it remains, the story won't stick to silence forever. Stories rarely do. If you've stayed with us this far, you know why the interest is so intense and why the stakes are so delicate. The pieces are close together, the board is crowded, and the audience is rapt. We will keep listening for the smallest shift, the tiniest quote, the briefest look that might move this from rumor to resolution. Until then, the safest prediction is that the quiet will keep humming and the eyes will keep watching. This is Turkish series Stars, and that brings us to the end of our video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and share. Until next time, take care and stay tuned for what tomorrow brings.